Welcome back to the CPT season final, day number 3. My name is Ultra David, and as you can see, we have even new folks up here. Yet again, we have Sabin, aka NYC Furby. We have Rob TV, we got James Chen, and we have Ringe. What's going on, everybody? Did any of us just play a match, or are we all good? Are we just hanging out up here? Everybody's just commentating today and analyzing today? Or is anybody...
Well, I definitely have a few things to say after that match. My adrenaline's up a whole lot right now. Coming off of that, I had to come up out of the hoodie. But what I want to make sure I get across is what the hell Hollywood Rob TV stands for. There's a whole lot of people, 99% of people love me. I have a lot of support and I understand that. But just like with anybody else, there's always going to be that 1% who likes to hate, who likes to detract. Why is he this? Why is he so loud? Why is he so cocky? Well, what you don't understand is what I stand for is actually those miles that I had to put on my weak 1990-something car years ago when I was struggling trying to pursue this dream. That's what I stand for. I was just going around the Midwest when no one knew my name, before any Capcom hit me up, before any team ever hit me up, before I ever had a fan, and before any of that. And what I have to make sure I clarify, there's people in my ear right now. What I have to make sure I clarify is I'm not about negativity or anything of that nature. I'm a beacon to show what other people can achieve without worrying about everybody else. Be unabashedly yourself, and I promise you, you're going to win. I promise you, you're lucky as well that you did not have Capcom Cup, because I would have eaten wherever you from, whatever country.
Talk to him, Rob. Talk to him, boy.
Congratulations, brother.
I'm terrified.
Hey, not enough. I wish I had more games to play. I wish I had more games to play.
That's what I'm talking about.
A lot of people like to talk in Twitch chats and all that, but I tell you what, I like to put money down on it. So anybody talking Twitch chat, whoever don't like what I just said, I'm too cocky, I'm too arrogant, I look better than you, I'm buffer than you, I dress better than you,
Okay.
Put money on it then if you don't like it.
All right, man. Look, you played great, for real.
You don't
Nice
dress
work.
better.
Yeah, no, don't turn me down.
You played.
Yeah, I know I played great. Don't turn me down.
All right. Congratulations. Let's talk about the next one we got coming up here, which is going to be France, Spain, Portugal. For that, we got F Word with a regional spotlight.
It is rare to see such moments in the FGC, where villains are vanquished, and yet in 2021, a hero emerged to silence the punks. And established himself as one of, if not the best player in the world at that time.
Oh, it was about to the swim. Activation. Not looking what? Oh, he didn't.
It started at Red Bull Kumite London, where the world expected Japanese and American players to travel to the United Kingdom and take home the top prizes, free.
What are we going to get from Crimson? Escape from Crimson.
No one could have predicted what would happen next. Despite the constant trash talk and bickering and disagreements between the regions, Mr. Crimson shocked the world by making quick work of Punk, someone who he'd clashed with multiple times that week at the Red Bull Kumite London event. He then went on to defeat an EVO champion in his fellow countryman Luffy.
Mr. Crimson.
And finally, in what's got to be described as one of the most exciting grand final sets in Street Fighter history, he took out Idom, the former Capcom Cup champion.
Your champion, Mr. Crimson.
Allez! For the average player, Red Bull Kumite would definitely be the peak of your year. You need aim no higher. But Mr. Crimson was just getting started. Just a few months later, Bonjour Crimson, as I like to call him, went on to take the France, Spain and Portugal Capcom Pro Tour event online. Once again, taking on Luffy in one of the closest sets we've seen for the entire season. Mr. Crimson fought from the losers bracket to reset the grand finals and take the victory over Luffy and confirm his victory in this Capcom Pro Tour qualifying event. He then travelled to the US to participate in the Street Fighter League, to lead the Vodafone Giants to a dominant start and an exciting finish, taking out household names every week along the way. And so here we are, the CPT 2021 season finals. And one of the most exciting years we've seen for any player in the Street Fighter 5 era. We've arrived at Bonjour Crimson versus Kilzyou in this 1-to-5 set.
Sorry about that French accent right there. Believe it or not, his English accent is actually even worse. It's true. Ask him to do an English accent.
I hate when he does his French accent.
The first time I went to dinner with him, he put it on thick for the
Right?
wait. Oh my!
Is everybody in Poland?
I'm
No,
telling you,
okay.
it's not great. Anyway, but
Bad.
really, really good package yet again. I love these things that F4 has been doing. Those have been super, super interesting. Very, very well done. Let's talk about this match, which, of course, again, will be Mr. Crimson versus Kilzyou.
Yeah, so before I get into Crimson's praises, let's talk about Kilzyou for a bit. You know, Kilzyou, we've seen him at the Salt Mine League. We've seen him at the CPTs doing his thing. Like, he did qualify, so that's why he's here. He's definitely, like, an underrated Karin, like, one of the best in the region, one of the best in the world with that character. And, of course, Crimson, of course, you know, he is the representation of this character right now at the highest level. Should bring up a Street Fighter 2 reference. Street Fighter 2, we had a video from the Japanese scene called 100 Killing Arts of Yoga. Well, for Street Fighter 5, we have like 100 killing arts of yoga with Dalsim in this game, and he has seen it every step of the way. So what you're about to see is Dalsim play at the highest level, all the setups on lock. True mastery of the character right there. But I think it'll be a close fight. Like, I don't know who's going to win, actually, although Crimson is favored. I think the matchup is going to come down to Karin versus Dalsim. It's a war of control. Like, you know, Dalsim wants to space out and he has limb control, but Karin, if she gets one crush counter, the tables turn. What do you think, Rob?
I mean, you know, of course, this is a matchup that me and you play all the time in these online events like NLBC. But as far as speaking on these two guys specifically, I would say individually, what's interesting about Kilzyou is he is actually the youngest player to have qualified for Cup. You know, there's a few old 20-year-olds and whatnot. This guy's only Chris CCH. This guy's only 19 years old. He's still a young buck. And this is not the only game that he's a professional in. He's also a pro in sports games as well. So it's just really cool and shows how talented that he is. And as far as Mr. Crimson, right now, I would say that just within this last year, he has crossed that barrier from just an amazing player to the elite of the elite, like a threat to even win something like Capcom Cup. The last thing that I'll bring up before this match, as far as my point, is the fact that these guys' relationship is so deep that Mr. Crimson actually paid for Kilzyou to go to his first ever major event when he was 17 years old. What? Yeah, literally.
Bringing out the next generation. You know, you love to see it, man. You know, I've been in this game for 35 years, so it's been really cool to see 6 generations of Street Fighter, to say the least. Wow.
And now I guess we're going to have an opportunity here to see if the student can defeat the master then at this point in time. But, you know, one of the things I want to talk about is kind of the journey. And, of course, we have 2 players here who could probably speak about this even more. But the journey of the Dalsim, the character, right? I mean, this is a character that, you know, for a while there was questions of how strong he was. And I feel like in this season here, especially with the addition of that V-shift mechanic, has really just kind of propelled Dalsim into this upper echelon where some people are talking maybe top 5 character in the game. I mean, we have definitely been seeing success, not even just from Mr. Crimson, but from Arturo Sanchez here as well. Once the season was going underway, he was dominating a lot of NLBCs, a lot of you know, tournaments all over the North America. Yeah. And so this character has really come up, and it's funny too, because traditionally a zoning character, I mean, now it's like a meme now.
Zoning,
now it's like a
zoning,
meme that he's a zoner.
Yeah, he zones, right?
I mean, they did make some significant changes to his V-triggers mid-season. You know, Trigger 1 got the buff where you can burn from half screen now.
Oh, yeah.
It can't be reversal. And V-Trigger 2, you can actually cancel into a V-Trigger 2 after Gale activation or anything. So, like, he has more offensive options than he did before, and combined with the V-Shift, you know, like, he's really a terror in this version of the game. You love to see it, though.
Look at range.
Yeah, and both of these players play each other a lot. I believe Kilzyou lost to Crimson 3-2 in the CPT that Crimson qualified in the top 8, so it was a very close set. And in reviewing that set, I think I have some keys to victory here for both players. I think Kilzyou, he's very V-skill reliant on trying to close the distance up against Dalsim, so I want to see a little bit more stand heavy punch, stand medium punch in that type of range. And in general, I like the stand medium punch EX10 go from long distance. It's a classic Karin strategy. I felt like he wasn't looking for that much. And of course, offensive V reversal, I think that's a hallmark in the matchup of Punk, of yourself. Everybody that plays Karin up against Dalsim, you got to knock him down and start your pressure on. Crimson, on the other hand, I want to see more Yoga Galen pressure, be a little bit more greedy. But most importantly, I think he needs to cycle through his defensive options, which he's so good at, and maintain pressure after anti-airs and air-to-airs. When I was reviewing the tapes, it looked like a lot of the time when he anti-aired and went for the meaty drills, Kilzyou was ready for that and jumped up and ended up taking his turn back himself. So hopefully he avoids that, and he'll be good to go if that's the case.
Well, Mr. Crimson won Salt Mine League actually today.
Yeah, he did.
Today's.
Wow.
And that
With
was
Luke.
that's right, with Luke. But he's also won 5 of the last 9 Salt Mines. Like he's killing it out there right now. Kilzyou got third. Kilzyou got third today. Like it's not like he's any slouch, right? He's consistently doing well out there as well. But I do agree with what you said, Rob, that Crimson has vaulted himself into that high up echelon.
Yeah, he's absolutely elite right now, bro. I mean, we've seen him, of course, first at Red Bull Kumite. And another thing to bring up with that is the fact that Crimson says himself, like that big grudge match that he had with, a brother of mine, Punk the God, that big grudge match that they had out there, he wouldn't have won that match if it wasn't for his training that he had with Kilzyou in that Karin matchup. But we've seen how strong he played there. We've seen what he did at Red Bull Kumite, at Street Fighter League. I feel like outside of just actual in-game skill and the X's and O's, what may be the determining factor of this match is just the experience and high level in high pressure situations. It's interesting to see if Kilzyou can handle it at 19 years old.
Okay, well, let's head out to the commentators for this. We have Vicious and Jake Ryan, and I'm excited because I know you two are going to take Dalsim very seriously. You're not going to rag on him at all. You're going to treat him like the very legitimate and reasonable Street Fighter V character that he is.
Not one bit, David, but I like you trying. I appreciate it.
Right?
No, all jokes aside, I mean, I've had a lot of talks with there are 2 of the main Dalsim players from the West Coast, Commander Jesse and Danka Diaz, man. They talked about this character for a good time, and they've made me a firm believer. I don't know about you, Jake Ryan, but I think Dalsim is a legitimate character and has been for quite some time.
It's a bit of a stretch, Jeremy, but I'm going to have to agree with you, especially after talking to Danka Diaz.
You got me.
It had to be done. And, we have some of the best Dalsim. We have one of the best Dalsims in the world in the building right now as well. So
yeah,
I think the argument for the top 5, it's out there. I mean, not the traditional style that we see Dalsim play anymore. He likes to get in the zone, right up close and personal. The rushdown is present, and we're already seeing that too. Great. They can't write this. It writes itself. It writes itself.
Kilzyou wants to play in a range that is what? Mid-range to closer? I mean, obviously, CQC when it comes to Karin is her strong suit. But at the same time, Dalsim has been developed so well to the point where he can actually contest in that range without any flaws. I feel like he can deal out so much damage and get out if he needs to. Karin, maybe not as much or not as easily.
Yeah, Karin having a harder time to escape.
Oh my God!
Throw whip? What do you mean,
What?
Aaron? What? All right, goes for the TK Gale once again. Goes for the side switch, and now in the corner. This is so incredibly close. Great block on the cross-up, and now this is where Karin can just shine. What a back throw, you're kidding me!
To Mr. Crimson, yeah. Having the patience. Wait a minute. Yeah, just clearing the space. Excellent choice there from Mr. Crimson. A little bit of a dab there from the jump jab. But no, sir, no punish on it. Another jump jab for the snipe. Kilzyou actually was on Mr. Crimson's tail. That could have been it for the Karin player, but just in time for the jump back jab to connect 3 times over. Crush counter into the sweep, get the knockdown.
Yeah, the jump recovery was so important there. And even if the chase down came out, Kilzyou just wasn't coming in time. And Dalsim is just smothering Karin, but no, not able to connect right there. The quick get up after the jump reset, and now...
Yeah, I love that from Kilzyou.
Yeah, so
just
smart.
a defensive option just to jump out of that string was so superb. But again, the counter hit there from the drill. We wanted to see him maybe neutral jump to counter it, or even a light kick. I think Kilzyou went for the light kick option and got stuffed out. But either way, Mr. Crimson with a hefty life lead activation, this is going to be pretty tough. If Mr. Crimson just sits there and takes a throw, he'll definitely do that. Oh, but he doesn't have to. That's the thing. There's just so much control from the roundhouse. Mr. Crimson taking it flawlessly 2 rounds straight against Kilzyou.
Yeah, didn't really have to hold anything, and something that was brought up by the analyst that's really important to note is that as Karin, you want to be able to use those offensive V reversals to keep Dalsim locked down. We saw the V trigger activation late in the round because he just wasn't able to approach in an effective way. Didn't even really get to use the V skill like was mentioned too, and it felt like everything was coming out Crimson in the close range and then at a distance, and that's it's so hard to like even say anything that he could have done better there because Crimson was just playing so well.
No, I think you're absolutely on the money for that one. I think there's going to be a little bit of a development from Kilzyou to kind of notice some of these trends, or at least notice some of the offensive options that Mr. Crimson has taken, or at least within neutral, right, to kind of close the gap. But so far, he's been trying to slowly creep up, utilizing the walk speed of Karin as a way to open up for offense. For the most part, right? It hasn't been anything too risky yet, but we'll see how it plays out. Kilzyou already at the deficit, but still putting Mr. Crimson in the corner, and he's going to be just fine. Man, you tried to stop the teleport. That was in the same spot, too. Anticipating Mr. Crimson to possibly teleport in front of Kilzyou's face, but not the case. And I like that, just going for the crouch medium punch into the Tenko confirmed, because I think the low forward would have been too far out to actually go through with it. But Kilzyou, great awareness so far.
Yeah, and this is exactly where Kilzyou wants to be. Feels
There we
confident in the
go.
combo. Yup, there's the V-skill we were talking about. Checking, what a great low forward. Are you going to spend out? No. I didn't build the meter for the critical art, but the throw comes out afterwards. There's just so much that Kilzyou had on the table and goes for the back throw. Optimal meter build as well. Now feeling comfortable here, but Crimson still with the great checks. That's such a good call out on the tackle forward. I can't believe it.
To be fair, that was a really
Yeah.
great move from Mr. Crimson in anticipation for something like that because he stopped him. Oh, wait a minute. All that for naught, though? That was one whole sequence. That's very Karin, Mike.
The shimmy comes out again, very Karin-like indeed. Continues to try to put forward, and the V-reversal, and the V-reversal, that's exactly what you wanted to see. The offensive V-reversal, the offensive lockdown, and now just slowly poking out of the corner.
Oh,
but
boy.
no, this is a big confirm. Not going to be able
This is
to
going
kill.
to be great. You actually can't use trigger at this point for Mr. Crimson because a V-reversal is on deck. He's so reluctant to do it. Okay,
there it
from
is.
that far, I like that idea.
Yeah, try to dash where you're dead! Wow, what a critical art! Cancel afterwards, knew that he had to get out of the carpet, knew you had to stop the gray life, but Crimson, one step ahead of the Padawan, all right? I've seen through the smoke and mirrors. No Jedi mind tricks today.
I have the high ground.
I have the high ground, Kilzyou. I've always hated you, Crimson.
Dang, that actually is the lore today. Now that I think about it. You are like a brother, Kilzyou.
You were supposed to bring balance back to the yoga, not leave it in shambles.
This is tough, man.
I'm sorry.
This is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, you have to defeat your sensei, and right now he said, nah, not today. I do have the high ground. I have the advantage. The fire is burning. But Karin has other ideas, all right? The Kanzaki family doesn't go down without swinging.
And Mr. Crimson, I gotta say, he is not one bit shy
What
on
was
this
that?
defensive pressure. He was just sitting there, letting the V-trigger just rock. He is not flinching for a minute. He's gone through the ringer when it comes to playing the Karin matchup, without a doubt, right? He's played against one of the greatest to ever do it with Punk's Karin.
Exactly.
It's like, are you gonna be flinching against your own student, the one that's kind of like brought you into the ring?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of tough.
It's definitely when he's teaching him how to move like water. He's like, I am the water.
I-
All right, you have to learn to move like me. And I've played the best of the best. And if you're not playing to that, I'm not impressed.
For American standards, it's the Rocky versus Tommy gun.
Yeah, exactly,
I feel that's
exactly.
what it is,
I
but-
feel like Dolph is on the screen right now. Mr. Crimson just shows up all buff and imposing. And there's nothing Kilzyou can do.
And it's really tough right now. I gotta say, Kilzyou is slowly starting to figure out the options here. But Mr. Crimson, again, you've said it numerous times, is just a step ahead every part of the match.
Now it's looking like Kilzyou is turning it on, finding all these great pokes. Ooh, maybe looking for, not sure, maybe a jump, but not going to get what they're looking for. Nice, goes for the back turn. Now one more touch sequence will go. Are you going to take the throw? No, you're not.
And one interruption on the drill, very important.
There it is,
That's
the
the
V-reversal.
reversal we wanted to see from the trigger activation.
Oh!
No, he's gonna be cooking up so much after that. The meaty slide, and even worse, cooked up.
That's the second time we've seen that exact same situation. Before it wasn't the V reversal, but Kilzyou getting so angsty when the carpet's on the ground, all right? You can't do it.
Man.
It's a trick. The glasses are all going to stay there. You cannot try to deceive him, okay?
Not
He's
at
going to
all.
pull the carpet right out, and everything's going to pay off for him. And now Crimson, he might just go to a 3-0 right now. This is, I'm sorry, student. You should have showed up to more classes. Extracurriculars right now are necessary. What a back throw.
And the options that Kilzyou is presented in terms of trying to close the gap have been null and void majority of the times because of the fact that Mr. Crimson has changed up the normal usage, right? Medium kick, and then the roundhouse immediately after. Was that I couldn't tell if that was a sample. Was that a command dash coming in from Kilzyou? All right, we'll take that.
All right, goes for the V-trigger activation here, and this is where the party can get started. Not gonna have any V-reversals, and you're dead again! Just another confident slide comes out. He's not afraid to continue the approach. He's not afraid when the V-trigger's active. He knows that his student isn't ready.
All the Dalsim lovers in the Gooder Lounge, they can't believe that the games are so short. You could tell, look, they're very upset. They have the thumbs down. They're like, we want to see more games of
Let's
Dalsim.
go, Dalsim!
I get it. I totally get
Let's
it.
go, Dalsim!
Yeah, no, these guys, again, they're booing because they think the games have gone too fast. And it's been the trend all weekend long. We haven't seen a full-on set other than the East Asia set. But I gotta say, man, all those fans of Dalsim, they're ecstatic.
They're eating it up right now. They're eating it up. It's definitely a moment where, you know, I feel like Dankadias, the man from the hometown, he's feeling really good. He's like, yeah, you know, this character is pretty good. It's pretty good. You know, I'm pretty good, but this character's all right. This character's pretty nice. And that's what we're seeing right now. Mr. Crimson putting on a clinic against, you know, Karin, who's been a top character for the entire lifespan of Street Fighter V, and I believe will continue to be that way. So the fact that Dalsim has slowly inched forward and, you know, now reaching for the top.
Making it look really tough in this matchup in general, right?
Exactly.
This is like a very blatant Karin stopper, right? I think it's just Mr. Crimson specifically,
Yes.
but I'm slowly starting to think it's Dalsim. I don't know, it's just the way that he's piloting this character is a notch above the rest.
feeling the notches coming up even further. It's a mix of fire and ice, slowing down the approach of Kilzyou while also just continuing to burn him up. And what that?
Yeah.
Okay, now getting the great confirm right there.
That was sick, by the way.
Yeah.
That medium kick or medium punch. For not really.
Yeah.
Mr. Crimson still being able to get the drill into a full sequence, looking very, very clean in the suit. Again, Mr. Crimson has just done so much work in this neutral to really think or give Kilzyou false hope into moving in. Look at this. If he wants to play offense, he can. Dalsim is just so powerful right now.
Yeah, Dalsim is definitely. What a cancel on the V reversal. Not afraid to go for the grab and the chase down. That's what's so crazy about Mr. Crimson. He's not afraid to
Dalsim
approach.
chasing Karin right now.
That's not fair.
Why is Dalsim the one chasing Karin right now?
Rushdown character right here, all right? No, traditional zoner. No, Dalsim is rushdown. Dalsim, you know what? Honorary SoCal, you can come down here, Mr. Crimson.
SoCal.
Honorary SoCal, rushdown legend.
I think Brooklyn might have claimed him first.
Oh, really?
I feel like.
Man.
Maybe. They've gotten Problem X. So.
That's true, that's true. You know, I think there was a great point made earlier, too, about Mr. Crimson, you know, paying for the first tournament that Kilzyou was ever able to go to. It's a really roundabout way of just increasing your own winnings.
That's actually true. It's
true.
Yeah, you actually raise somebody up to be a part of this exhibition. He's like, oh well, I get my my dividends now.
I met you paid the $30 once for the tournament entry, you know, $5,000 in pocket. That's a really good investment right now. And Mr. Crimson is trying to run away with that. And Dalsim,
It makes sense.
pure
it all
balance.
Makes sense now.
It's a grandmaster scheme. All right, listen. In 5 easy steps, Mr. Crimson. Back to the match, as you can see here, and Kilzyou.
Man, he went from a yoga class to a finance class.
It's true, all
Mr.
right?
Crimson.
Just crunch the numbers.
Ugh. Kilzyou off to a great start. Actually, no, he's at a deficit. I was going to say, he has Mr. Crimson in the corner, but Dalsim could just get out. I mean, as simple, as much as I'm simplifying it, it's not even close to that way, but the way Mr. Crimson plays it, it makes me say it that way. He's just so much better right now, just so clean.
Yeah, on paper, he's making this matchup look heavily Dalsim favored and making Karin look like her limbs don't matter, her typical pokes aren't as potent, like her hit confirms.
Oh, I like that.
That was really smart.
Very
And
smart
now-
idea from Kilzyou, but can he keep the momentum against Mr. Crimson? Just running into the crush counter again, just a little preemptive from Mr. Crimson, throwing it out there.
It feels like there's these moments of hesitation from Kilzyou not feeling confident.
this
And
is
again,
tough.
okay, this is huge. Has the activation here. Now
We're
in the
gonna
corner.
see, we might see the trigger activation soon.
Ooh, might not even get the opportunity. One more touch will do it. Great throw tech. He is not afraid. He's not taking these throws at all.
Oh, he's cooking up. He's gonna be cooking up soon. He's getting the recipe ready.
Ooh, not
That
dead.
could have been it.
Activation
There it is.
here. This
Okay,
is huge.
this is tough. If
One
Mr.
touch.
Crimson gets this opening, Kilzyou is actually dead.
There's no one touch. Wow, what a confident jab after the land. Knew the carpet was there. And any hit from Mr. Crimson was a kill confirm, a set confirm. And Kilzyou says, "You've taught me well, master. I know what you're trying to do here."
Surviving another day. Very unfortunate too. That last sequence just now, a little bit too far out for the EX Tenko to hit. No conversion off of the struggle
do
from the
that.
crush counter. You have to make every hit count. V-shift out of the Yoga Gale scenario.
Nice, the drill comes out once again, and yeah, Kilzyou has been getting these great hits, wonderful crush counters, but not really, it's not paying off. The dividends aren't there. And now Mr. Crimson, again, so comfortable in this corner, and
Another
not really
counter
getting stuck
hit.
there. So smart. Ooh,
That's actually
what?
going to be so much damage. Look at that, continuing the
You're
combo.
dead.
You have another Yoga Fire. You are actually dead. Cooked up. I thought it was just going to be like, he might score a knockdown with the slide, but he had 2 bars. He had 2 bars.
The fact that he's able to do that.
Damn, this character does hella damage.
There was a lot of comments earlier in the seasons that, you know, oh, Dalsim doesn't have great hit confirms, he doesn't get a lot of damage off of combos. I want you to take that clip and tell me he doesn't have damage. That was almost 50% on Karin. That's not fair. All right, you know what? I agree with the crowd. Boo! Mr. Crimson, #1. You know, one of the best players in the whole world.
Jesus,
I can't
Jake.
believe it.
I'm not gonna
I'm
do
sorry.
anybody on this desk. Man, I'm not gonna do that.
Ah.
Hey, but we got to see the 2 best players, the France, really
Yeah.
duke it out here on the stage, and I love to see it personally. I would love to see Kilzyou come back from this kind of beating, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a clean sweep. I gotta say it how it is. 5-0, Mr. Crimson, showing exactly why he is truly the man of the hour for France. And again, very impressive either way. I'd love to see more of that. Karin, just sharpen up just a little bit more. It's definitely not going to be the last we see of Kilzyou.
And the thing about Kilzyou too is, like, Mr. Crimson is the huge proponent of Kilzyou, and one of the best ways to learn is to lose, especially against your teacher. And that shows that Mr. Crimson didn't hold anything back, wanted Kilzyou.
Yes.
Like, Kilzyou had to earn that, especially if you were able to prepare Mr. Crimson for one of the best, I'd say the best Karin in the world. The best Karin in the world, Punk to God, and help him get to that point. You know that your Karin, it's got to be at a high level. You know, it might not be there yet, but you know, getting closer every single day. There was a lot of rounds that looked like one split decision would have gotten him that victory, but that's somehow it crumbles. You know, you have that top of the top where they're not going to let those decisions slip by, and that's why Mr. Crimson was able to get the 5-0, because Kilzyou, a couple more decisions, and maybe it would have been like a 5-1, 5-2. But I think it was Crimson all the way, no matter what.
I think it was kind of wild, too, the way that they were swinging right out the gate, and the fact that Mr. Crimson happened to suppress Karin's offense with his own offense. Imagine that, the zoner, being able to suppress one of the heaviest hitters in the game. That was super impressive. We got to throw it back to the analyst to give us that full breakdown, because it was ridiculous.
Thanks very much for the commentary, folks. Yeah, again, very, very impressive performance by Mr. Crimson with fantastic 5-0 victory in that set. We have the Dalsim player on my side over here. Arturo, how do you feel how that went?
Man, that was rough. Well, you know, shouts to Mr. Crimson, of course. Like, he was on his game. Like, you see, like, the offense and the execution and the spacing and the counter pokes and everything. It was just perfect, super on point. Kilzyou had some answers, but we can even see, like, when Crimson got his offense started, he started to V-shift. Mr. Crimson's Gale, and you couldn't even get a punish. You know, so it's just impressive all around, pretty much. Well, what do you think you could have done? What do you think you could have done different, Rob?
Oh, there's so many things, man. And, you know, first and foremost, of course, I am proud of the young man. But because of that, I have to make sure that I give him my honest critique. As far as that matchup, the main thing that I want to harp on is timing. Again, me and Art, you know, play this matchup all the time. And the biggest thing I would say is that against Dalsim, people feel like they need to get in, right? It goes without saying. He has these far, long-range normals, controls the whole screen. Because of that, you may feel pressured to hurry up and jump right now or dash forward. If you go back and look at that, I promise you, you're going to notice that at almost all times, Kilzyou is moving forward. So what should he do instead? Sometimes what you want to do is actually wait. Sometimes you wait a whole lot just so that he doesn't know when you're going to do it. So even if he doesn't, the Dalsim doesn't know exactly if you're going to dash, if you're going to press a button, if you're going to jump, if you're going to Rasenha even if he doesn't know what it is, if he knows when it's going to come, that's already half the battle. So I think he should slow down a whole lot, and I will also recommend throwing in a lot more stand light kick. So that's the main things I would say, and I do think Mr. Crimson was just a stronger player, because when he did get in, he almost never made the right read. Dalsim does not have the tools to stop Karin from destroying him after she's in.
Yeah. Well, in honor of that delicious artisan roasted white meat, let's go to the Arby's meaty moment.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a person who has, you know, grappler player fighting Dalsims my whole entire life, a lot of the times, like Rob was saying, when he gets you into that middle range and starts pesting you with those normals, I have had many times where I have purposely jumped backwards and get myself to a full screen, reset the situation.
Reset your mind and everything.
Right, and the more frustrated you get, the more you try to push in there. If you're just trying to barrel forward, and you know, you saw Mr. Crimson, he confirmed that standing medium punch into the super based off of seeing Karin move forward, right? That's normally not just a hit confirmable cancel, but he was able to just confirm off of that forward dash. And so, you know, I feel like maybe Kilzyou was coming in maybe a little cold. I mean, obviously he got to grand finals in the CPT.
Oh my God, the fireball loop. You saw that fireball loop, James? Oh my goodness.
But, you know, the thing is, when you're playing in CPT, you had multiple rounds in a row of, you know, playing against and being in that tournament mindset. I'm sure Kilzyou played a bunch of matches before this exhibition started, but it's just not the same kind of thing. So maybe a little bit of that youth, the inexperience got to him.
I think we just caught him on a bad day, to be honest with you. Like,
really?
Yeah,
for real?
honestly, I feel like he slept wrong. He didn't have a good meal beforehand.
Wrong side of the bed.
Bro, when I saw them play in CPT, he played it so much more patient, so much better. The stand like that you were talking about, he was doing that. It was 3-2 in CPT. This was a 5-0 wash. Not to say that I agree with y'all that Crimson has really elevated himself into an upper echelon, but man, Kilzyou being his main sparring partner, I was expecting a closer set. Big ups to Kilzyou as usual. You know, he is a phenomenal Karin. And the only thing that I have to praise Crimson about, besides, you know, running his game as usual, was that he did fix the air-to-air thing. We saw the air-to-air stand medium punch and immediately going into Gale rather than drill to keep that pressure up. So, I mean, phenomenal stuff. He didn't have much to work on, and he still fixed that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that that is to say, Mr. Crimson's play was in part about how well he knows Kilzyou.
Yeah.
I mean, they know each other so well. They are sparring partners. They have so much experience against each other. And if you are, as we were talking about earlier, the person in that pairing who has the more experience, has the bigger results, that kind of stuff. This kind of thing where you are playing against somebody else over and over again is going to be more in your favor, I think.
100%. And I would also add that when you play against certain players in high pressure situations, like Mr. Crimson playing against Punk, the result, throw that out the window. It doesn't even matter him winning or losing. There's certain things that you can't get away with. Like, that's something that happened when I started training with Duel a whole lot. So when I play against him, it's like, man, I can't whiff this. If I miss one jump, it's this, so on and so forth. It's harder to read you. It's harder to open you up. So when you play those matchups and then you play against someone who may be good, but they aren't at that tier, it feels like the other person is playing with ankle weights on. If you remember, there's actually something that I haven't played Crimson myself, but I remember watching that Punk versus Crimson match and seeing how Punk would actually whiff punish stand medium punch with stand fierce in the EX shoulder. And I actually do that now after I stole that quick. That's a pro tip right there. Make sure I steal any good stuff that you see. But definitely, I feel like the experience that Mr. Crimson has had playing against players like that, and outside of just the character matchup, even playing against the Odd Arms of the world and everyone at Street Fighter League, a lot of these other guys can just feel like they are at like a lower level. So even though Kilzyou is getting the experience, with the valuable experience of playing against Crimson, I think he still needs to get outside a bit more so that he can level up to his level.
Have you been stuck inside for nearly 2 years? Maybe. For any reason? I don't know. Maybe things have been going on. I'm not so sure. Have you been using screens as poor replacements for human interaction? If so, your eyes may be suffering for that. And for your indoor digital forays into events like that, Game Gooder's Blue Mirage Sunnies will protect you from the alleged evils of blue light with their blue light blocking technology.
Beautiful stuff. And of course, Arby's has been a proud sponsor of the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 season finals. So be sure to visit Arby's.com to order ahead at participating locations. You don't want to wait, my man. Already got the sun blockers on, making sure your eyes are healthy. Make sure you don't waste your time either and treat yourself right.
The Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. Other regions are also coming soon. Keep a lookout for more news on the global release and get ready to join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter in the world. Well, we have been traveling all over the world throughout this weekend, seeing tons of great matches from a bunch of different players. We have many more to come. Coming up next, we are going to stay on the West Coast where we currently are, and we're going to look at Nephew versus Chris CCH.